Murray Lock and Dam has probably seen more visitors than any other lock and dam in the state thanks to the development of the Big Dam Bridge. Touted as the longest pedestrian bridge in the world, the Big Dam Bridge is a sight to see. But it's what's under this bridge that captures our attention.
Basically on the bottom of the lock chamber in the Arkansas River.
Construction on Murray Lock and Dam began in 1964, and that includes a 110-foot tunnel running below the lock and dam.
The water's around us. It's just a tunnel going right on the bottom of the Arkansas River, and you got water on both sides, and you got your spillway on top of us.
Lock leader Eric Gillespie has worked at Murray Lock and Dam for 7 years. Although this tunnel was completed more than 40 years ago in 1969, Gillespie says it's still a solid structure.
A boat could hit this concrete wall and we're not going to have to worry about anything. And these things are over 40 years old and they're still, you can look at that concrete, tell it looks like it did when you first poured it.
Inside the tunnel, cracks in the walls and pumps called uplift drains keep the lock and dam working properly.
And as you see when we go through here, you'll see stuff coming up at them. Basically, this is to relieve pressure from the bottom. These dams and locks they're designed to leak some, because if they don't leak, you'll have too much pressure on them, and you'll end up having a failure.
Once a month, Gillespie and his team check on the tunnel.
We got to come down here and basically do our preventive maintenance. Check our pumps, make sure they're properly working, check the lighting, just look for cracks, anything out of the abnormal.
The tunnel is filled with all sorts of nature. On the walls,
yeah, it's dry. You would think it'd be slimy.
On the ceiling, stalactites.
How it drips out of the middle of it there.
Stalagmites on the ground.
That's just the build up off of these calcium buildups and stuff where it's broke off the ceiling and fell down here and just building up over time.
And even muddy substances pulled from the bottom of the river floor.
And as you can tell, just in less than a year's time, it's already back like this.
Near the end of the tunnel, there are special pumps which serve an important function for the lock and dam.
If the water level gets too high, that cable right there is a float. It'll hit that float. When it raises it up, it'll kick these pumps on and it'll pump the water up so that it does not get too high. Right now, with no flow in the river, they're probably going to run 3, maybe 4 times in a 24-hour period, and they'll only run for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then they'll shut themselves off.
Gillespie says even heavy rains and earthquakes haven't lessened the effectiveness of the tunnel.
Our dive teams go in and do annual inspections, and we check all that stuff, and there's nothing. None of that stuff's affecting any of the structures. I've been at this lock and dam for 7 years now, and I've never had it flood.
In addition to Mother Nature's markings, there are ways for you to find your way around the tunnel.
That P stands for a pier. That's letting you know that there's a pier on the other side of this wall holding up the catwalk and stuff above the gates.
But you don't want to get caught down here without your flashlight.
You get about middle ways in here, you can get a pretty good idea how dark it is down in there.
The Big Dam Bridge, spanning the Arkansas River as it connects Little Rock and North Little Rock. But there's a dark side that not many know about.
People up here off the Big Dam Bridge throwing rocks, water bottles, animal feces, pouring water bottles on deckhands as they lock through.
Eric Gillespie is the lock leader at Murray Lock and Dam.
They're carrying them basically from the beginning of the Big Dam Bridge and actually taking the time to carry them up there and throw them down.
And as an added safety precaution, Gillespie has had these plexiglass covers added to the carts to keep the employees safe as they travel around the lock and dam. Judge Buddy Valine says keeping the lock safe was a top priority when the bridge was built.
You've got barges coming through, you've got people on those barges, and it's a volatile situation in there when they're there. That's why that you've got the fence section over it as opposed to the rest of the bridge.
But Valine says those who vandalize are few and far between.
People are just frankly crazy when they do that. You shouldn't throw anything into the water, Arkansas River anyway, but specifically you don't throw it over and into a structure where you could hurt somebody or hurt some very valuable equipment.
Lieutenant Terry Hastings with Little Rock Police reminds people it's against the law to throw items off the bridge.
And if you are caught doing that, you will get arrested. Sometimes they have thrown large rocks off with people working down below. If one of those strikes someone and injures them, even kills them, you could be facing some serious charges.
In Little Rock, Jessica Duff for today's THV.